Expedition Overland's Great Pursuit is proudly presented by General Tire. Anywhere is possible. In association with Patriot Campers and P-Core Systems. In part by Stanley. Warn. Icon Vehicle Dynamics. Maxtrax. Garmin. CBI Off-Road Fabrication. Equipped. Aviator Paramotor. The Power of Red Arc. Magpul. After enjoying the incredible Whipsaw Trail, we have finally crossed from Canada into our home state of Montana. Our main focus at camp tonight will be attempting to repair our new and ever fussy PPGs. Probably because we haven't stopped messing with them.
So we were able to run the engines up a little bit, have them idle for a few minutes, well actually just a few seconds, and then they die. So we know that the electrical system is good. We're just working on the fuel system. So Kurt is helping us get all the settings on the carbs where they should be, because we didn't actually mark whose carburetor went on whose engine. So each carburetor is tuned to that engine. So now we've got to go retune the carb to the engine to get them running better. So a little bit extra work. But the good news is they're running, and we just gotta fine tune them to get them more reliable. So.
But all is not well, like we thought last night. This morning's extended run-ups are revealing a mystery problem in all of our motors.
Same thing.
Same.
Yep. Something's going on.
Yeah, all of our motors are having the same issue. So when we button these carbs back onto our machines, we're thinking that we probably just missed something.
The only thing is there may be a gasket flipped backwards in between the carb and the motor itself. There's a little base plate gasket that has a hole in it. When that carb came off to switch to the EFI, they kind of got reassembled afterwards just to keep the parts together, but nobody was looking to see if the reassembly was the proper way, because they were just getting put in a box.
We had made the assumption that it was tight, or that it had never been disassembled from the top, but it had. But all of it's fixable right now at a hardware store.
In the inspection process, we have encountered another setback, as one of the motor mount bolts has sheared off in the block.
All these came out fine, but put a little bit too much Loctite in there. You can see it seeping out.
No way we're getting that broken piece out. I mean, as tight as that is with vice grips, I mean, you're gonna have to drill a very, very precise center hole right down the middle to like the minor ID of the threads, and then use a tap and get those pieces out. Yeah, it's doable, but it's not like campground work. That would be.
Yeah, the hits just keep on coming. They just keep working through it.
That's it. This is compelling footage.
Speaking of, where are you right now, Clay?
I'm in my safe space. I need to crawl into my safe space. Turn on some teddy bear music. That'll be fine.
In the midst of all of this, my middle son, Ryder, is anxiously awaiting for me to take him fishing. It's one of his early passions, and he's itching for me to make good on my word and take him out. So, I take a step back to spend some quality time with Ryder while the guys try to get the PPGs up and running. I've come to realize in life that it's especially important to breathe and assess your priorities during difficult moments like this. Going fishing right now is the top priority. You got it. You'll get it. Without the proper tools on the road here, we need to tuck tail and retreat down to the X-hanger in Bozeman. It's a major detour from our plan, but it's necessary to execute a proper fix on Brian's motor. This is just something you don't mess around with. Now at the hangar, it's go time for Kurt and the guys as they repair the carbs. The number one priority is to make a precise extraction of the broken stud. One false move and this motor could be totaled.
Right there? Yep. Okay. You heard that go right to the bottom of the bowl.
Yeah.
Test here. Very nice. And now we can clamp this in and it won't be.
Edit some gracefulness in here.
Thanks, Kurt. Thanks, Uncle Kurt.
Yeah, Uncle Kurt.
Uncle Kurt fixed all our machines.
Thank me when you're on the ground.
They got the Kurt
No
warranty.
liability.
Well, this is the first time we have ever tucked our tails in and had to go back to base, but it was a good move. We got the PPGs, as far as we know, 100%. Restocked on water, restocked on food. Now we're going to turn and burn and go back to where we should have been tonight. Back on course. It turned out to be about a 7-hour detour. It kind of wounds your pride a little bit to have to come back, but it was the right thing to do. I think everybody's feeling good. Go attack again. Regrouped, attack.
Holy sunset. Beautiful sunset. Yeah, look at that. That's gorgeous. Big Sky Country giving you a kiss, Richard.
I appreciate it. I'm giving a kiss right back.
That'll make you want to be a patriot.
With the PPGs up and running again, we wake early the next day to prepare for our first test flight since training.
How are you feeling about this early morning and this first flight?
Obviously a little bit of butterflies. First flight.
The summer's warm, thin air offers a greater challenge than in Florida or Mexico, where we experience much thicker air at lower elevations. We'll have to be extra careful today.
It's early.
It's really early. It's pretty though.
It's the first day we're flying. Not for lack of trying. I feel good about the flight. I feel good about going right now. We're ready. We've done everything we need to do to be ready. This is something that you just don't mess around with. You need to be on point to do it. And I feel like we're there. We can test them today, fly them, and start doing cross countries if everything goes well. So I am a little nervous. I think all of us have a little, just that uneasiness. But I think it's like getting on a Bronco. You don't know what this is gonna do, and you just kind of muster your bravery every time you go to strap one of these things on. Heard Ty say that, and he's right. I have to muster my bravery every single time, and this morning is an extra dose of that. So.
Run, you're perfect.
The test flight is a much needed success. The air is good, and other than a shallow rough spot at 800 feet, this is good. Things are looking up. comms are in a good working order, and we feel confident that we as a trio can launch our first cross-country trip after a quick refuel.
That'll work.
The thin air does provide us with a sporty landing, though. All of us are coming in hot.
It's exciting.
Just like,
Exciting's one way to put it.
yeah.
That was a great flight. A lot of fun. It's so nice to be up with the guys that you trained with. This is the first time all three of us have flown together since Florida. We've all flown quite a little bit separately, and these guys flew down to Mexico. And Clay and I have flown a lot back in Montana, but this is the first time having Brian back in the saddle. It just feels good to be back in
really good.
Montana with the guys, like where we planned, where the whole reason that we went on this trip. So it feels good.
Yeah, it did great. Inspected the bolts here. None of the bolts have backed out, so that is what we want. I'm just gonna check 2 last ones, and then we'll be good to head back up into the sky, do a cross country here.
So we'll see how this goes, and basically what we have equipped with us is just a little bit more survival gear, because we're going over mountains, whereas these guys are on the roads. I have tons of confidence it's gonna go great. It's time for our first cross-country flight. Ty has a good burn rate on his motor, so he's gonna head up first. Next, it's my turn.
Everybody help, everybody help.
I came in hard on this side.
Yeah, propeller's cracked and took some lines.
Ah! I'm done, guys.
Come on back. Just sit
I
down.
can't.
Okay.
I can't.
You get your feet up. Let's stand him up. Let's stand him up. Okay. 1. Grab his arm right there and help him stand up. 1, 2, 3. Up on your feet. There we go. All right.
Let's get out of this. Wing.
Flight's looking good. Both props are toast.
I got picked up.
Yep. Yeah, it kind of.
What did I do wrong?
Looks like, something picked you up, got you torquey, and then maybe let off throttle, or
I bailed.
and then maybe did you bump back into it or something? But there's a lot of torque twist either way. Like either you cranked it and it twisted, or
I think I was
there's
light.
the wing.
It felt like the wing.
Come up here, it looked like a really weird wing tuck coming off the right side, and it just collapsed you, man.
I'll take it back to the trailer. We'll package it up. You're in the air. Let's get Brian in the air and let's continue the mission. Ty is in the air burning fuel, and we need to get Brian up and running and our convoy on the road. Otherwise, we're not going to make our objective. We need a win here. As seemingly simple this cross-country was to be, it sure has our attention now. Best thing we can hope for is that the sky holds out and the thermal air stays dormant. The guys have just over 40 miles to go. 2,500 feet above the ground, the guys find a swift current of air, and it accelerates them to a ground speed of 64 miles an hour.
Man, I can't believe how nice this air is. Woo!
We're going to have to push it pretty hard just to keep up.
So we got eyes on you, we are directly behind you to the west.
Yep, good copy. So we're just kicking it down to speed limit as we roll through Harlowtown here. We're in town now, so we're about, I'm gonna call it 1 mile out of the LZ.
Good copy, 1 mile out.
The guys come in just as the ground is really heating up, and the landings are faster and harder than any before. This has truly turned out to be one incredible experience. My crash was a tough pill to swallow. However, I'm just happy to be okay. I'm sure there will be better flights ahead.
Yeah! That was fun. We hit thermals pretty hot and heavy. So it's nice to be on the ground now. Very nice to be on the ground. Really cool landing spot here. Nice piece of state land. Love public land. Thank you, Teddy Roosevelt. We covered 64 miles. We went like 64 miles an hour. That is bonkers. That was fast. Shall we? Yeah. Nice job, man.
What these guys did today is an accomplishment. And once we're all packed up, we head south towards my family's ranch. Welcome to my favorite place on earth, and the place where I learned to explore. So now it's time to hand the reins over to the next generation and allow them to stretch their wings too.
Cool, you're gonna be leading the convoy.
Yeah. You ready for this? Okay. You're gonna lead us. Now I'm gonna give you the general direction. Come over here. So this is what it's all about right here. Little kid getting his freedom. He's gonna lead the convoy. He's real excited about it. It's just we're fortunate to be able to come out to property to be able to do that. But it's fun to see a kid stretch his wings. He's 9 years old and he's just crushing it. He's ready to go. So let's see how he does.
Eli is a natural-born leader, and I'm constantly looking for places where I can inspire him and allow his talents to develop. Letting him have a taste of what it's like to be out in front will hopefully resonate with him for years to come.
Eli's down.
Eli's lead couldn't have gone better. Other than that small hiccup in the bumps, his quick recovery has put him back in the lead again. It's a proud moment for this Papa.
Alright.
I'm the sweatiest kid alive.
What's that?
I'm the sweatiest kid alive.
The sweatiest kid alive?
We push on another 15 miles or so to the ranch house for a midway refuel. We're about to head to the southern side of the ranch toward the Wyoming border.
Want to ride, Tanner?
Sure, we'll hop on.
I learned to drive and explore out here, and now it's his turn. He's just getting to do it in a state-of-the-art four-wheel drive instead of an old beat-up Ford.
You have the truck. Yep. All right, Odin's up and we're rolling with Cyrus.
Roger. Lead us, Cyrus.
Lead.
So you're gonna let your front passenger tire settle in first. You know it's gonna come down. Turn a little passenger. There you go. You're good. Just ease into there. It's gonna start coming down right now. Yep, you want to ease into it. Okay, and then just slow throttle up over it. You're gonna start flexing pretty good. Don't let your wheel go too far passenger. There you go. Drive. Little driver. Little driver. Little driver. There you go. Wait. There. You're gonna come down on rear. Right. There you go. And a little power. Yeah, feather. Yeah, come off. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Nice steering wheel control too. It's all right. Add a little power. And you are through the obstacle. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Now you know why we do it.
Good job going through there, bud.
Thanks.
Was that fun?
Yeah. A little hard.
What was hard about it?
Tire placement.
Tire placement and throttle control?
Yeah.
Knowing how to use your gas pedal and your brake pedal and feeling where the tires are, learning all that?
Yeah.
You did good.
Thanks.
You did really good.
After Cyrus's technical adventure, we find ourselves deeper into the ranch, where we encounter my parents' first shared living space.
So right through here, we're rolling down through a place called Pitchfork. My parents lived here for the first summer from April through October, and they lived in this little hut here in a trailer, and they had to cook and live out here by themselves.
They went to town like twice, and they were restocked by the other crews, either by airplane or by trucks. Yeah, they tell us the story that this is where they learned how to be married.
We're gonna drop Tanner. He's gonna run out to the hut and film us kind of rolling by.
Red flash.
So that's the place they stayed at?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's so small.
A snake?
Rattlesnake.
Oh, get it.
Rattlesnake? Bull snake?
Taste it. Tell us what it is.
Yeah. If he bites you, if it hurts, it's probably not. It's probably poisonous. I want to see it.
Bring it back.
I want to stay in the truck.
We believe it's a gray North American racer.
Huge rattler. Yeah, massive.
No, it's not.
Did you see that grasshopper just climb up on it?
Yeah, that's funny.
That grasshopper's got brass.
Yeah,
that grasshopper has just brass.
With snake wrangling officially out of everyone's system, it's time to push onwards towards the Prairies. No matter where you walk on this earth, each speck of dirt carries with it a rich piece of history. Knowing the history will make any place you travel more vibrant.
Trip is going swimmingly. Look at where we are. Getting this far back in here is really special. We were just talking in the car, like, what if we were like in New Zealand or South America and we're able to do exactly what we're doing right now, finding, basically with permission of the ranchers, to go back through some of this really deep backcountry areas between Montana and Wyoming. It's incredibly special. It's spectacular country. It's romantic, and I don't know, it's like the West. This is some of the best of the West. So we'll see where the road goes. It looks like it's dissipating, but we have a really old map and some guidance from an old rancher. We'll see where it goes.
As we move into the Prairie Mountains, you can feel this mystical presence. There are legends here of the little people. At one time, remains of a mummified little person had been found, but it was lost on its way to the Smithsonian Museum, never to be seen again. In the late 1600s, conquistadors made their way through here when the Crow Indian tribes roamed these plains. The Crow still remain here, as it is their land. And the only thing left of the conquistadors is their horses, who generations later still roam these mountains.
We're all super tired, been up for a long time. So we'll get up in the morning and do it again, but tonight we're just gonna enjoy a nice cool evening. It's way cooler than we anticipated. Have a nice dinner, crawl in our tents, snuggle up and sleep good. So with you, Kurt, 1, 2, 3 not hit. 1, 2, 3 not hits.
Do you think Kurt is a physical touch person? Is he,
what's that?
Is he, quality time person?
I think Kurt is a gifts person.
A gifts person? Richard just insulted me. He's like, you look like Colonel Sanders. And I said, what? Colonel Sanders? You could have picked anybody else. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday. Colonel Sanders?
Mostly if it was white and if you had, you know, the right glasses and was holding a bucket of chicken.
You got a finger? Yeah.
Now you have...
Cameraman can't laugh.
It's a great
It's not allowed.
I have been the last one to bed most nights to make sure that all the precious data are on these hard drives.
Ashley, are you by chance changing?
I am.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll do the rod later.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll only be like 1 second, to be honest with you. But you do whatever you feel is right.
Yep. I'll maybe wait.
Anyway, okay, Current.
We slave over leveling tents. Ugh.
So hard.
I'm making a fire.
Tonight's lesson for the boys is a leave no trace fire pit. Tomorrow, you'll never even know this was ever here.
Every night I come in and I'm tracking what we've done every day. And I use it as a time to just kind of sit and reflect. I like to listen to camp, I like to listen to everybody, keep tabs on everybody, and just kind of get a little bit of alone time to myself and process the day. It helps me make movies. So that's a big part of my job here, is to have fun, to be on an adventure, but also to produce a show for you. So that's where this begins. It starts on a Write in the Rain notebook and a Surefire pen, and it's been that way for, man, 3 or 4 years now. And then I work through it, and eventually I get to the edit room and make the show that you're watching right now.
It's time to push onward, but not without a brief stop at a historic Penn's cabin. And a quick look at some of the Pryor's famous wild horses.
There they are, in all their glory. It's really cool to see. Pretty special. We've been able to see some awesome animals today. I love it. And it doesn't get much more scenic than this. I mean, green grass, meadows, top of a mountain. It's amazing. It's incredible.
After adding our name into the cabin's guest book, we continue the trip through the Pryors, and ultimately down the range toward the Wyoming border. The last few days have been trying, exciting, and adventurous. The Big Sky country never disappoints. You could spend lifetimes exploring its many forgotten places, but our trucks are pointed south. And this stunning road will eventually lead us to our second state, Wyoming. And perhaps our most challenging trail to date. Find out with us next time on Expedition Overland. Help us fuel the adventure by checking out xoverland.com and picking up some merchandise.